This is your Math Gal, Julie Harland. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where all of my videos are organized by topic. This is our first example, evaluating the 6 trigonometric functions using the trigonometric ratio definition. So here's our problem. Find the values of the 6 trig functions of the angle alpha in standard position. So we've got an angle in standard position whose terminal side passes through -3, 2. Let's go back and look at the definition. So in the previous video, we looked at this definition. So we've got xy as any point other than the origin on the terminal side of an angle alpha in standard position. Okay, so it's just like our problem. And if r equals square root of x squared plus y squared, then here's how we define the sine, the cosine, the tangent, the cosecant, the secant, and the cotangent. And these are called the trigonometric ratio way of doing this because these are fractions. It's just a ratio. So as long as we know what x, y, and r is, we can use these ratios. Just plug in the values of x, y, and r. All right, so here's our example again. So we do know x and y because that is given in this ordered pair. All right, so we know that x equals -3 and y equals 2. We need to find r. All right, so the definition of r is the square root of x squared plus y squared, right? So in our example, since x is -3, x squared would be -3 times -3, which is 9, plus, and then 2 squared would be 4. You're always going to be adding two positive numbers. So r in this case is the square root of 13. Remember, you have to add inside the square roots. Now, you could have also drawn a picture if that helps you to visualize it. Let's see, what about if instead you drew that angle? So let's see, it goes through -3, 2. So here it is, -3, 2. So the angle I'm talking about goes through this ordered pair right here. Right? So this is our angle alpha. So if we're asked to draw the angle, that's where that angle is. And the ordered pair here is -3, 2. Oops, sorry. Problem with my pen. -3, 2. And then the length right here, let's make it just a little bit thicker. Okay, the length right here, r, you would get by using the Pythagorean theorem. This is 3 spaces, this is 2 spaces, and so r is the square root of 13. But you don't need to draw that to get the answer, all right? We know that x is -3, y is 2, and r is the square root of 13. So we're going to use these values now to state what the trigonometric values are. All right, so here's the definition, right? If we know the values of x, y, and r, and our problem was that alpha in standard position passed through this ordered pair, -3, 2. And so we have that x is -3, y is 2, r is square root of 13. So let's go ahead and use these definitions up here. Sine of alpha is y over r, so that will be 2 over square root of 13, which can be simplified by multiplying the numerator and denominator by square root of 13 over square root of 13, which gives you 2 square roots of 13 over 13. So this is the simplified way of writing that fraction where you've rationalized the denominator. But 2 over square roots of 13 is the same number. It's just has an irrational denominator. How about the cosine of alpha? Well, it would be x over r. So what's x? X is -3 over square root of 13. I'm going to do the same thing, rationalize the denominator, so that we get -3 square roots of 13 over 13, and so on. So go ahead and finish this up. figure out the tangent, the cosecant, the secant, and the cotangent. And then put the video on pause, do those on your own, and then check with me. Okay, hopefully you tried those on your own. So the tangent. The tangent is y over x, so it's 2 over negative 3, or you could write that as negative 2/3, right? Now, what about the cosecant of alpha? Two ways of thinking about that. It's just the reciprocal of the sign. So you could look up there and see, well, it's r over y, or you could just see what you have for the sign and do the reciprocal. So either way, you're going to get square root of 13 over 2. And for the secant, that's the reciprocal of the cosine, or square root of 13 over negative 3. I'm just going to put the minus sign out in front, square root of 3 over 3. Usually when you have a negative number, you just write it out in front. So instead of writing square root of 13 over negative 3, although it's not wrong if you don't do that. And the cotangent is the last one. Take its reciprocal, or you do y over x, it's going to be, instead of negative 2/3, it's going to be negative 3/2. And there we have the 6 trig functions for that problem. This is your Math Gal, Julie Harland. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where all of my videos are organized by topic.